Hello, hi everybody, and welcome back to THE Student Webinars. Today we are joined by the wonderful SMU Lyle School of Engineering, and they will be here to discuss all things. Oh, sorry, one second. I can hear myself in the background. They'll be here to discuss. Apologies, I can hear myself in the background. There we go. We will be here to discuss all things engineering and also how you can apply to the schools in the US and why this will benefit you for the whole hour. We'll be here for maybe half hour to an hour, so do stick around with us and we'll be here for that duration. We have the wonderful Junior Ortiz, who will be your host for today. I'll be handing you over in just a moment, and please feel free to ask questions throughout the whole webinar. We will be here to answer those for you at the very end of the webinar in the Q&A section just at the bottom of your screen there, and we will get to those at the end. So I'm going to say enough from me and hand you over to your lovely, glamorous host, Junior.
Well, good morning. How are you all? I am going to speak in English today, pero para que todos sepan que yo también hablo español y voy a tratar de dar la información que si Dios quiere, le va a ayudar en su futuro. Or in English, hopefully what our discussion today will help you in your future goals and your future aspirations as far as what you want to do and how you want to do it. So before anything else, let's get started. So let me share my screen real quick. Give me a little second because I'm a little slow on these things. So, all right. So today we're going to talk about cutting edge engineering fields and, preparing for success in engineering disciplines and show you different aspects. I'm hoping to be able to kind of talk to you about specific areas like AI and machine learning, biotechnical and biomedical, quantum engineering, renewable energy, robotics, and automation, and lastly, nanotechnology. Before we start, I want you all to understand. First of all, I'm a professor and also I teach leadership here at SMU. I am not an engineer by trade, but I graduated from the United States Naval Academy, and in the first 3 years that I went to Navy, I studied everything that every engineer had to take, thermodynamics, electrical engineering, and so on. The only difference is they got a technical degree and I did not, but I have taught engineers and led engineers throughout my career. So that I don't want you guys to think that oh God, here's a non-engineering guy who has no idea what's going on. On the contrary, I do understand very well how about the engineering disciplines and how to look at different things. So let's get started, okay? First thing we're going to talk about is artificial intelligence. The biggest thing on this is focusing on let me tell you what the career is all about, or at least an idea of what it's all about. It focuses on developing and implementing and improving real world problems. AI has gone into all sorts of things, and that is like the big thing nowadays. AI is in everything. It requires a mixture of technical, analytical, ethical, and industry specific skills. It's not just one thing; it's a combination of things, and it ranges from technical roles in the strategic positions and towards and analyzing AI and addressing certain challenges. So my purpose is to be able to kind of give you an idea of each one of these fields and then talk about how to prepare yourself for this specific area. So in AI, for example, so how do you prepare yourself for artificial intelligence and machine learning? Very simple. Degree in computer science, electrical engineering, or any related field. The coursework that you should be taking is specializing in AI, machine learning, data science, or any related subject that encompasses those things. Now, another thing that's important is try to get as much internships as you can with technical companies, research labs that focus specifically on artificial intelligence and machine learning. By doing that, you will open up your horizons and be able to find the correct jobs and opportunities for you. All right, so let's move on to a second one, the biotechnical and biomedical engineering and career areas. There's four different areas that are fall into this category of this engineering area. It's genetic engineering, medical devices and diagnosis, tissue engineering, biomedical imaging. All of these things, as you can tell, in the medical as well as the engineering side of the house, everybody kind of looks at it and says, "Well, this is all just on the medical piece and everything else." Believe it or not, we need engineers to be able to do a lot of these functions. It's important to be able to kind of, especially when it comes to medical devices and diagnoses and diagnoses, um, regenerative medicine and imaging. I'll give you an example. I mean, biomedical engineering. I was a Marine for 28 years, and one of the things that I saw and worked with was actual engineers working on medical devices and especially like on prostheses and things of that nature. So biotechnical and biomedical engineering, those career areas are wide open for you to be able to use your talents. Now, how do you prepare for this? Again, a degree in biomedical engineering or biotechnical or bioinformatic, um, or bioinformatics, excuse me. Um, Concentrating more on the STEM courses of biology, chemistry, bioengineering, things of that nature. And once again, the internship, being able to go into companies or hospitals and or research institutions to be able to kind of open up those horizons that you're trying to achieve so that you can improve and become better and better as you go along. All right, quantum engineering. Oh my God. For years, people have been saying, like, what is quantum engineering? And what are the career paths along to it? So there's quantum algorithms, which basically breaks up, you come up with certain functions to be able to do quantum theory and quantum engineering. Quantum cryptology, cryptography, cryptographic is more of going into specific areas, especially in intelligence and things of that nature. Quantum information theory, obviously, just finding out the different aspects of quantum theory, and of course the quantum hardware development. These are areas that in engineering that a lot of people just kind of look at and say, well, quantum engineering, what the heck am I going to do with something like that? Well, there is possibilities to do it. Degrees in physics, computer science, electrical engineering, and things of that nature are the ones that you should concentrate on. Courses in quantum mechanics, linear algebra, computer science, and again, the internship, going into research companies that are utilizing quantum computing and quantum engineering. These are the ways to be able to kind of open up those opportunities. Later on, I'll give you some tips on what you need for all of these courses. But until then, let's continue going on. Renewable energies, engineering career path, that nowadays is big. In the US, it's solar energy and things of that nature are important. But in Latin American countries, what we have found, at least from my understanding, is that solar energy, the smart grid, um, sustainability and things of that nature are growing immensely. especially in places like Peru, Colombia, Ecuador, and things of places that are really pushing, and especially in fossil fuels and combustible energy and things of that nature. So renewable energy is a very important piece for the future, not only here in the US, but throughout the world. How do you prepare for that? It's funny because electrical, mechanical, environmental engineering is probably the biggest one, and also sustainability. Um, Courses that you can utilize are renewable energy systems, power electronics, environmental science, environmental engineering in the aspect of seeing. The other piece is civil engineering. There's a combination of civil and environmental, especially in countries that deal with petroleum. Um, Internships, companies and organizations working on renewable energies. They are all over the world. We are very lucky because we have a sustainability and renewable energy degree, or excuse me, professors that actually work and are world renowned and have gone throughout all the different countries and have helped to do that. So finding a company or an organization that's working on renewable energy, that is the biggest advantage that you can get. Now, robotics and automation. For a long time, robotics, everybody just kind of thought, well, it's just little robot running around and things like that. No, on the contrary, I mean, there's autonomous systems. Being able to use these systems that are able to do it without you having to program them. Excuse me, without you having to actually have a tether on them in order to make it happen. Human robot interaction. I mean, being able to, I'm sure you've seen these little dogs that are little robots and everything. You tell them to come and you tell them to sit, and they do the same kind of thing. Industrial automation. I mean, major corporations like Ford Company, the automobile industry is probably the biggest that utilize the industrial automation and robotic software and control systems to build a lot of their vehicles. Um, Not taking away the human piece to it, but the idea of having that to help make the product a little quicker. Now, again, the little robot, education in robotics, mechanical engineering, electrical engineering are probably the biggest and the strongest pieces to go after. As far as courses, control systems, computer vision, again, AI, working with those courses will help you to open up those pieces for the robotic and automation engineering. Internships. The internships, as I have already told you in some of the other ones, the companies, research labs working with robotics and automation. And let me tell you, it's not just companies like automobile companies. It's almost every company that you can think of that works on distribution or works on being able to get things out there very quickly. Now, the last one that I'm going to talk about is the nanotechnology career areas. Nanomaterial, nano devices, nanoelectronics, nanomedicine, nanoscale fabrication. Nanotechnology. I had a student who worked on nanotech, and one of the biggest things for her was being able to take nano in the nanomedicine and nano devices side to be able to put a system inside of the body, not just a physical body, but in a let's say a device of some sort. We're able to go in and check if there was any flaws or if there was something that needed to do it. For example, being able to use nano devices for operating in very specific areas in your body. That is a big deal nowadays, and something that a lot of people are looking at. Again, material science, chemical engineering, physics, nanotechnology, and material science, again, chemistry, the STEMs that we're talking about. Internships, companies and research focusing on nanotechnology. There are a lot of institutions, especially in the medical side of the house, and also ones that develop systems to be able to find cancer research and things of that nature. So there are openings and that sort of stuff for the nanotechnology. All right, so I talked about all these different things. I want to give you some general tips for success. And we can go over some of the other things later on, I said, but if you're going to be successful in being an engineer in any one of these disciplines, consider advanced education. In other words, explore graduate studies, advanced education, get a master's degree. Now that you have a bachelor's, work towards your master's so you can focus in on your specific area of discipline. Stay informed. I mean, guys, the biggest way to stay informed is look at what's going on, read journals, look at some of the industry publications. Big one, attend conferences. And go to some of the lectures that they have specifically on the focus areas that you're looking at, on the disciplines that you want to go. Networking. I can never ever emphasize more the part about networking. A professional network, whether it be in industry, forums, and professional organizations, those are probably the most important thing. And for your career, your mentorships and things like that, that's how you develop those networks. And let me tell you, someday that network can help you achieve a goal or find a better job or even open up an opportunity for you that you never would have thought of. Hands-on experience, obviously, with internships, research, apply what and try to get that theoretical knowledge in order for you to open up your horizons. And the last one, and probably the most important, is lifelong learning. And continue learning. Go to online courses, get some certification. Obviously, get your advanced degrees, get everything that you can, whatever opportunity is given to you for you to be able to become more successful and more how do you say, marketable. Go for it. Make it happen. Don't be afraid of that. And don't be afraid of, if you fall, get up, do it again, and keep doing it until you've mastered your area of expertise. All right, so now I spoke about that. Let me tell you a little bit about our school. We're the Lyle School of Engineering, and we're located in Dallas, Texas. But let me give you some of the programs that we have. If you notice, these are all the different disciplines that we have. And in every one that we talked about, of the 5 or 6 areas that we discussed, here, environmental engineering, computer science, electrical engineering, quantum engineering, mechanical engineering, biotechnical engineering, and of course, we have some online courses for artificial intelligence and specialization on that, network engineering, and things of that nature. So SMU gives you an opportunity to be able to do that. We're located in Dallas. We are for the Fortune 500 companies, we are right next to them. 10% of the Fortune 500 companies in the world are located here in Dallas. It's a thriving market. It's the fourth most diverse city in America. The cost of living is very affordable, and obviously the climate is pretty cool. To be able to degrees, one of the questions that I always get asked was, well, if I come here to SMU, will I have the opportunity, when I'm getting my degree program, do I have the opportunity to be able to work and do that? Yes, there are opportunities. Especially when you're getting your graduate's degree, one of the biggest things that we start is that first year, we want you to concentrate on your skill. So we work really hard to try and find you something within the school, so that way you'll have a little something to work with. On the second year, there is a program OPT that's available to any F1 students after completing the first year or the first 2 semesters. And what that is actually being able to put you with a company in your related field of study that will literally pay you money to be part of their company. But with the understanding, and they already know this, with the understanding that you have to continue your studies and do the best you can. The great advantage of that is, you have something to put in your resume, tu hoja de vida. And on top of that, if you do well enough, it's an opportunity for you to maybe be part of them. Within 6 months of graduation, at least here, we have 90% of our graduates are working or are enrolled in education programs and so on. 90%. And the average starting salary for our graduate students is in the 100,000 plus. So, something to consider. Some of the employers that are available or hire our students, these are some of the places, and the great part about it is some of these are also scattered in Latin America throughout. And these are just a representative. There's many more. Okay, so if you want to apply for SMU for the master's program, these are some of the requirements. Complete your SMU Lyle application, submit official transcript of all your college stuff, pay an application fee. But let me tell you, if you apply and you let me know, I will waive the application fee. The other thing is the language requirement. Guys, TOEFL, ILST, it's going to cost you a considerable amount of money. And, it can be anywhere between $200 and $500. And you only get one chance. Once you do it, you're done. If you pass it, great. If you don't, then you have to pay again. Guys, Duolingo. Please. I know a lot of you are going, Duolingo? Yeah, Duolingo. During the pandemic, you had to present yourself in the TOEFL or the ILSTs and all that sort of stuff. With Duolingo, as I say in Spanish, lo puedes hacer en tu habitación, bebiendo un cafecito, ahí haciendo lo que tengas que hacer. You can do it in your apartment, sitting there, and you can do whatever needs to be done. And 110, hell, even I can get a 110. For the PhD programs, a little different because you obviously you put in the applications and everything else, but you also have to have your transcripts, your GRE, and GRE means a graduate entrance exam, basically that shows that you can do graduate level work. Your resume or hoja de vida, letters of recommendation, and statement of purpose. And the statement of purpose is basically writing a letter saying, what do you want to do? What is, what is your goals? What are the things that you want to do? ¿Qué son sus metas? But when you write that, make sure you write it with ánimo and y fuego, a lot of passion, because there are people that are going to be evaluating you again. And again, as far as the English language requirement, guys, once again, Duolingo. Don't go crazy. If you're ready to engineer your future, hey, let's talk. Give me a call. There's a QR code right there that you can apply, and here is my email. Please don't hesitate. If you have any questions whatsoever, please get a hold of me, sin pena. And that's it. Hopefully I'll be able to answer some of your questions.
Awesome. Thank you, Junior. That was really informative. A lot of information there to unpack. So I'm going to hand questions over to you now. Okay, let's start with what requirements are needed to apply. I know that you had that up just a minute ago. And how strong must my English be?
Okay. So what was the question? I apologize. I'm sorry.
Okay, it's what requirements are needed to apply, but I think you've already stated that, and how strong must my English be?
Okay, so um, I'm gonna say it to you in Spanish, and then I'll say it to you in English. La parte de lenguaje, debes de tener la habilidad de poder hablar y entender. Ahora, por eso es que nosotros decimos que uses Duolingo, porque eso te va a dar la oportunidad de tener lo que necesitas. Te voy a decir, cuando una persona llega a los Estados Unidos o está en un ambiente que estás hablando inglés, el inglés va a venir así, inmediata. Um, pues tienes que tener por lo menos algo que te dé confianza. Esa es la cosa más importante. Your English capabilities are there for you. You have to have the confidence to be able to do it. Let me tell you, um, there are a lot of students that come over here and say, "Oh my God, my Spanish and my English is not really good. I can't speak well," and all that sort of stuff. Within a month or 2 months, they're actually speaking quite well. Why? Because when you're in the environment of speaking in English on a continuous basis, you pick it up right away. That's why, the language requirement piece as far as Duolingo and everything else, trust me, every one of you can do well. If you're understanding what I'm saying right now, you won't have any issues whatsoever.
Okay, perfect. I agree. The next question is about AI. So, will AI analysis be taught as a course itself in person or online only?
They're both,
Both.
actually. Yeah,
Okay.
our program has both online and on campus.
100% online.
Yeah, and it is 100% online. So
Okay, perfect. And how long in advance do I need to start preparing my application?
let's
Straight
see.
away.
So I have in advance, in order for you to be able to be part of the spring semester, you have to have your application in by November 10th. And so para la primavera necesitas tener tu aplicación hecha noviembre 10. For the fall semester, you have to have everything in by May 15th. Para el otoño, necesitas tener toda información, todo lo que necesitas para mayo 15.
Perfect. I think that's pretty clear. Okay, and the next one is about accommodation. Ari, the accommodation. Do you have some options for new students? Will you help them with accommodation?
Okay, so for if you're undergrad, you're required to stay at school at least for the first 2 years. Okay, and there are accommodations here and everything else. For when you're doing the graduate level work, it's a completely different story. You have to find it in the economy. And I will be very honest with you when you're looking at the price of the program and everything else, you should always take into consideration. And I did some of the math on this. You should have at least $1,500 to $2,000 per month for the amount of time that you're here for um, for living expenses, insurances, travel, and things of that nature. Debes de tener entre 1,500 a $2,000 por mes para la habitación, comida, seguros y transportación o lo que sea. Eso es lo que debes de tener. I hope that answers the question.
Okay, and I think lastly, this one's quite a big one. How do you think the presidential results will affect our visas coming from Latin America?
It's funny. I was talking to my boss this morning about the same thing. I will tell you, and this is purely my opinion, nothing more. We don't know where things are going to happen, but let me tell you, we've always had open opportunities for our students to come over here from Latin America. And I'm not going to tell you that you shouldn't. I'm not going to tell you that you should. I think you ought to do what you normally would. We're a land of opportunity. We want students to be able to study and things like that. So don't worry about the politics. I understand and I know politics is a how do you say a big deal in certain countries that we represent. I understand that. Pero en este momento no se preocupen de eso. Sigan sus metas. Esa es la cosa más importante del mundo. Mantengan sus cosas, sigan para adelante, para atrás ni para coger impulso. Sigan todo. Always follow your dreams and continue to do it. If an opportunity closes, then look for another opportunity. Don't ever hesitate. Don't let the political instability or stability or whatever it may be here in the United States or anywhere in the world stop you from doing what you need to do.
Perfect. I think you've answered that perfectly. I think that's the end of the questions. We haven't got any more coming in, but guys, if you do have any questions, please send those over to us and we'll forward those to SMU. But they also will be in touch with you very soon after the webinar to get you to inquire some more. So I don't know if you've got anything else you want to add, Junior?
No, the only thing I want to add is and I'll say it in Spanish and then I'll say it in English. Sigan sus metas. Sus metas son las cosas más importantes en el mundo. Si nada más, sigan eso. Si lo pueden hacer en un lugar, listo. Si lo pueden mantener con nosotros, listo. Aquí voy a estar con las manos abiertas esperándolos y ayudándolos en lo que sea. Pero sigan sus metas. Y como dije, para atrás, para adelante siempre, para atrás ni para coger impulso. In other words, go out there, reach for your dreams. No matter what happens, go for your gusto. Do what you need to do in order to achieve your dreams. Open up your opportunities for yourself. Don't ever be afraid. And if something happens, get up, do it again, and make sure it achieves your goals. That's the most important thing right now. And I'll be here to when you decide to come to SMU, I'll be here with open arms to take care of you and guide you in the best way I can. But if nothing else, follow your dreams. That's the most important thing.
Amazing. Thank you. Such good advice to finish on, really, I believe. And yes, thank you guys for actually attending today. And those who didn't and who couldn't, we'll be in touch with you in the next couple of days with the recording of this webinar. And Junior will also be in touch via email, I assume, to reach out. All right. Well, have a good evening or morning wherever you guys are. All right. Thank you.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, everyone.
Cuídense. Muchas bendiciones. Y sigan sus metas siempre. Reach for your dreams always. Take care. Lots of blessings.
Bye-bye.
Bye, y'all.